And welcome to Scott's Amateur Woodshop. Tonight, I'm going to make a short video with a project idea. And it may seem silly to some people, I don't know. But I'm going to try to convince you to make a coaster or a set of coasters as an early project. So I hope you've already seen my videos about getting a square and a Ryoba. That'll show you how to cut off a nice square piece of wood from a board that's perhaps a reasonable size. And it's really about marking a line so that it is square and the right distance to make a square shape from the end of the board, and then cutting to that line with a saw. If you haven't seen those videos, check the description for links. This point, you'll have kind of a starter coaster. It's just a square of wood. And that might seem like the end of the project, but actually I would say that's the beginning. If you've taken my advice at this point, you own a few tools now, and you can actually do a lot with them. So one thing you could do that's fairly obvious is you could use your little plane to take off the corners. I've already taken some off of this. You can see there's a little chamfer there. And you can kind of just dress up your rectangle, and that'll make it a little better than leaving those sharp corners. You can also clean up the sawn edges. This one is still looking a little rough. You can moisten the end grain here with some water or alcohol. I like using alcohol like Everclear. It's expensive, but if you're sparing about it, it's not that bad. And the advantage is it evaporates quickly, so you don't have water hanging out on your plane blades, leaving them to rust. It just makes the end grain cut significantly easier. But you could go beyond this, and coaster is really a blank slate for you to be creative. So one thing you could do is you could cut off the corners with a saw, make it, mark lines, cut to those lines, make it an octagon. Another thing you could do is you could take out your carving knife, and you could see where maybe it needs a curve or there's some unnecessary wood. Like, I might like to take my coaster, for example, and think of the bottom as having 4 feet in the corners and carve away some of the material in between. So could see how that looks. And then when you've done everything else that you want to do, you can put some finish on it. You can use almost any kind of oil or wax, mineral oil, beeswax. I've been showing this Butcher's Block conditioner on my channel a few times just because it's something convenient that I happen to have. It's a pre-mixed blend of some different waxes and oils and stuff. I'm just rubbing that into this surface that I just cut here, and you can see how that wakes up the grain. And I think this is a good project because you're actually making something useful, but it's still mostly an excuse to just have fun and be creative and learn some stuff. So you could also texture the top, by the way. One thing about the coaster is in order to be a functional coaster, you may not want to put too much of a real finish on it. Like, I would actually not put polyurethane on this, which I'd like to put on some things. Because of a ring sits on the top of this, I might actually want the wood to soak it up. I want my coaster to get a ring on it. I'm not trying to protect it. I want the coaster to get a ring on it because it's going to look like a coaster, and the whole point is to prevent my table from getting a ring on it, right? So it's okay if there's a ring on the coaster, and absorbing that water might actually prevent it from just sliding right off the top. So that's my project idea for you. for today is make a gosh darn coaster. Why not? And with that thought, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening. And please remember to use the buttons below and look at the description. And I'll see you next time on Scott's Amateur Woodshop. Bye now.